Hi everyone, my name is Cynthia. Let's talk books. Today I am here with part one of my December wrap up. We're getting this a little bit early because in January I want to focus on doing all of the end of the year best videos, and also because I'm reading quite a bit in December, and I think it's better to split it up because I tend to like to talk a lot about these books and then have a hard time editing myself. So let's get right to it. Today I'm going to talk about 6 of the books that I read in early December. The first was The Anthropocene Reviewed. This is a book by John Green, and I've been trying to read it since it came out. And then Shannon over at That So Po and I were messaging back and forth, and she was about to finish it, or she was reading it. So I was like, okay, I need to get on it. And sure enough, my library had it. So it's a series of essays, basically, in which John Green reviews one aspect of the Anthropocene. The Anthropocene is the word used for like the modern geological era, and I just loved it. It is clear how knowledgeable John Green is about a lot of history and science. He actually does these videos for big history that are magnificent, and I've used in class. They're a lot like his like U.S. history and world history videos, but this also had a lot of personal elements about himself. Like he talks about like modern technology and aspects of modern life, but he also talks just a lot about himself, his family, his life, and how basically our individual lives interact with things that are going to be part of larger global histories. I really, really loved it. And I think that even if you don't know anything about history, big history, science, technology, anything like that, you'll really enjoy it because it serves more as kind of a partial memoir. And the other stuff for me was just a bonus because I happen to know how much he knows about these topics. I've never listened to his podcast. Apparently this series of essays is based on the things he talks about in his podcast, but now it really made me want to listen to the podcast. I'm just not a big podcast listener. That's the only reason why I haven't listened to it. But so that was a 5-star read for me. It was fantastic, and I highly recommend it. I think almost everybody can take something away from that book. All right, the next book that I finished was another nonfiction book. It's Somebody's Daughter by Ashley C. Ford. I've been following Ashley Ford on Twitter for a really long time, and then I got to see the things she posted on social media about the writing process of writing this book, and so I was really eager to read it. And it is such a beautiful memoir. Ashley Ford's dad went to jail when she was really young, and so she doesn't really remember a lot about her father before he went to jail. And then he was in jail for most of her life. And so the book is really about a little bit about that, and then how she tries to reconcile that with her life, but also what life with her mom was like, what growing up as a young black girl is like. And it's very raw. It can be very hard to read at times. She's very honest and very reflective. Ashley has a really good reflection. I think she has a really good attitude. I like the way she views the world, is what I'm trying to say. And I love that she's an advocate for therapy, and I just really, really enjoy her viewpoint. And so reading her memoir was really fantastic. I don't think you need to know anything about her. I think that most people will enjoy some aspect of the memoir. It's a short book. It is fantastic. I really, really enjoyed it. The next book that I finished in December was For the Love of April French by Penny Ames. This is the book in which you have a black male hero and a white trans female. And I I think this is the first romance novel I've read with a trans main character, and I'm glad that this was the first one I picked up because the author is also trans, and so a lot of things are handled really, really well. It's a bit insta lovey, but that totally worked for me. These are two people who are dealing with their own issues. The hero just moved to town. He's new in town, and he's trying to recover from the mistake he made in a previous relationship. He's also trying to just kind of go back into the BDSM world. In the meantime, April is a staple in the BDSM world in town, but she's always kind of somebody that welcomes in new people and gets used quite a bit, and hasn't been able to find love or find even a stable relationship. And so they both come together at a pivotal point in their lives, and it's actually a really, really emotional, really beautifully told story, and I love emotional romances. The BDSM, from what I can tell, is very light BDSM. I don't read a lot of romance novels with BDSM elements in it, so this was just the right amount for me. And I think that if you read romance novels, you should really check out For the Love of April French. It's a really beautiful, really nice romance novel. I enjoyed it a lot. The next book I finished was Just for the Holidays. This is by Adriana Herrera. It's book number 2 in the Zambrano Studios series. And not everybody's gonna like this book, but I loved it. It's fake relationships, snowed in, and it has a lot of elements of Latino culture. One of the characters, actually I think both characters are Dominican, yes, but the hero has had much more, like he's much more connected to his Dominican culture because that's always been a big part of his family. For our heroine, however, her mom was very kind of snobby. The family was very wealthy, and so they kind of rejected a lot of eminent elements of the Dominican culture. The hero's name is Gael, and it's totally, by the way, a reference to Gael Garcia Bernal and Diego Luna, because although the character's named Gael, some of what, like the hero's profession mirrors some of Diego Luna's career. So it's just a bit of like a little bit of an Easter egg, I think, but you don't need to know anything about that to go into this book. The heroine, Perla, her family owns this big studio, and she's now back working in the family business for her half-sister, and she's in charge of casting for a new series. Gael's an actor, and he would be perfect for this series. The two of them had been in a relationship in college, then broke up, and so the Perla has to get over having been broken up with and the baggage of the relationship in order to like make her filmmakers happy and get Gael cast in this TV show. So she does this, and then she ends up spending Nochebuena and Christmas with his family, who loves her and who want them to be back together. It's a cute, really great story. It's a second chance romance. The other element that I know not everybody's gonna like is that Perla and Gael had a sexual relationship when they were in college, and she has not had sex with anybody else. And so I know that will rub people the wrong way, but to me it fit very much with Perla's personality, and I did not mind that element at all. I thought it was part of the character. And I love Adriana Herrera's books, so I really like this one. The next book that I finished was A Game of Cones. This is book number 2 in the An Ice Cream Parlor Mystery by Abby Colette. I liked the first one. It's a nice cozy mystery following a black heroine, and she doesn't own, she's running her family's ice cream shop in this small town, and then someone gets murdered, and then she accidentally helps solve the mystery. One of the things that is a little bit hard for me to get into in these books is that she's very reluctant to play the amateur detective, and I wish she was a little bit more into it. One of her best friends, though, who works at the ice cream shop, is really into it. She's just really terrible at it, whereas our main character is much more, a little bit better at it. So I like that. I like the family dynamics. I like the ice cream shop dynamics and the town dynamics. So overall, this was an enjoyable, cozy mystery. And if you're into cozy mysteries and are looking for diverse cozy mysteries, this is one of my go-to recommendations. And then finally, I was really into romance and like cozy mysteries, clearly in this early part of December. But the last book I will talk about in part one of this video is An Elderly Lady is Up to No Good by Helene Tursten. So this is Courtney Herrera actually talked about this book in her channel. I will link her channel down below. And like just the name alone, I knew I needed to read this book. It's about an older lady who is not just up to no good, she's going around killing people. And it's like a series of like short stories, and every short story is her killing someone else. She doesn't just kill anyone, she always has a very good reason for killing these people. It's just such a enjoyable series of stories. Like, I kind of enjoyed it. I didn't think she was always right about why she needed to be killing people, but it was fun to read about this old lady going around killing people. That's it. I'm like, if you like that premise, if that premise calls to you at all, you're gonna enjoy this. And I can't wait to read part two. I think there's like a holiday version of it, so I should probably get that in before the end of the year because I just enjoyed this so much. But that is it for me. Let me know how your reading is going in December. Because of the holidays, I'm guessing a lot of people are not reading quite as much, which is totally understandable. I tend to read more in December because I'm done teaching, and so I have a lot more time. In addition, I had to cancel my holiday plans. I planned on visiting my family, but that required flying, and there was a bunch of reasons why I didn't end up doing that, including the spike in COVID cases, and with Omicron being so much more contagious. We also couldn't take much chances. My dad is immunocompromised and high risk, so the number one priority was keeping everybody safe. There's other reasons as well, but I'm glad that we ended up staying home. I made tamales and pozole for me and my significant other, so we have plenty of leftovers, because apparently I don't know how to make pozole and tamales for just 2 people. But anyways, let me know how your Christmas went, if you celebrate. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.